Welcome to the Thursday show, everyone, here on the Frontline Gaming Network. If you're joining us live, we really appreciate it. We got some chats going on. If you're joining us afterwards in the podcast aggregators, we did this live. This is your weekly tournament show where we run down the meta coming up over the weekend, where we discuss some of the biggest and best tournaments all around the world. And we have another international event. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri.
Where were you when the Thursday show was live? Everybody ask yourself, if you're listening back, where were you?
And Dustin Henshaw.
Right here every week is the answer.
It's beautiful.
Thursday. And here we are. Now, listen, we have a big show, mostly because this is the first night, there you go, the first weekend that nights will be available for people to play. So we got some big stuff to talk about.
I see what you did there, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Clever. We're clever here on the Thursday show.
I do what I can. So seriously, this is where we talk about some of the lists you're going to see. We go down the factions you're going to see. We basically talk about what the meta actually is, not just what you read on the internet. And then sometimes we talk about how to beat that stuff. Because if you can't or don't want to be the meta, you do have to beat the meta.
It's true. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I can tell you, who the man is right now is kind of not up for debate anymore. There was a couple of weeks where we're like, ooh, is it Ashurani? Is it Tao? Is it Nids? It's pretty definitively the Bug Boys, which make Dustin very happy.
Yeah, I told you last week. I, for one, welcome our new Tyranid overlords.
I like it. Whenever these old factions, the people that are big fans of get to basically have their time in the sun. I'm actually pretty proud for them. So let's talk about the events we're going to talk about. Well, actually, before we do, make sure you check out Frontline Gaming. That's our sponsors. LVO tickets go on sale in less than a month to sell out, especially some of the more premium packages for those tickets. So you might even want to set your clocks, set your alarms, make a reminder on your calendar. You don't want to miss those tickets when they go live, and we hope to see you there.
BAO next weekend, where you can catch some incredible live coverage by myself and Co. The whole Ocho goodness sans the Paul Murphy, unfortunately. But we will have amazing live coverage for you from the entire event. Some people call the BAO the Bay Area Open. I call it the Badass Open because for badasses, and you come there and you see the best and brightest. And it's one of the long-standing, amazing Frontline Gaming events this year in homage to In Control Robinson, who was I think the most recent champion of that event, who unfortunately passed away. And much condolences to the late and great.
I'll be tuning in, and maybe I can stink my way on. We'll see. We'll see what comes out that weekend. But that's why you got to watch these things, because you never know what's going to happen. And plenty of exciting Warhammer 40,000 action as well.
No, it's always worth going to those things. All the coverage you guys have, it's incredible. It's the best to watch. All right, it is the best 40K to watch. You want to watch this. You get to find out exactly what's going on. You get to see the meta. You get to see how people play these armies, which is a huge factor for people that are trying to beat them. You're never going to beat them. These are the guys to watch. So.
First event we're going to talk about this weekend, or coming up this weekend, is the Birmingham Super Major from Birmingham, England.
When it's not from London.
Birmingham, I'm like Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. That's right next door to me. No, this is in England.
Man, the Colonials, they just name this, no matter where they go, they're like, that looks a bit like Birmingham. Let's call that Birmingham. And, it's freaking, yeah. But
probably
anyway,
the original Birmingham.
The original. How many players we got? How many rounds in this bad boy?
This is 287 players, 7-round event. Oof. And I want to also give a special call out that 100% of the players entered their factions. So we're talking to you with absolute perfect information. I mean, as we do every week, right? I mean, come on, always perfect information. Yep. But the players hashtag, they did the right thing.
We're raising a glass to you, boys.
I changed the hashtag. The TO did the right thing, because the TO put in the packet that they had to list their accurate factions. So a good cheers to you, my lovely English brethren, on getting it 100% right and making them do it. I love it so much.
Yeah, 100% on 287 players, guys. Like everybody sub 100. You have no excuse. Like, come on. 287. All of them did it. This is amazing.
Want to say what's up to the folks giving us some what's ups in chats. Look, we got some sleeveless shirt being worn in honor of you this weekend, Adam.
Love it. Thank you.
Trendsetter there with that fashion spike. Always good to see. Dustin, would you run down the factions and tell us what we're going to see there?
I definitely will. So the Imperial Super Faction, there are 9 Sisters, 18 Custodes, 6 Admech, 5 Astra Militarum, 10 Grey Knights, and 12 Imperial Knights. Space Marine Super Faction, there are 7 Dark Angels, 6 Space Wolves, 8 Blood Angels, 2 Ultramarines, 2 Salamanders, 3 Black Templar, 1 Raven Guard, 4 White Scars, 2 Imperial Fists, 4 Iron Hands, and 4 Death Watch. Space Marines coming out in force. Chaos Super Faction, there are 2 Chaos Space Marines, 2 Chaos Soup, 3 Chaos Space Marines, 16 T-Suns, 16 Death Guard, 2 Demons, and only 3 Renegade Knights. Wow. That's interesting.
I wonder if that's because, with the way that, we'll talk about it later on, but I think that the way that the Renegade Knights or the Chaos Knights are going to be is they're going to need a lot of the smaller Knights, the War Dog style chassis, and I wonder if there's a little bit of hobby lag to whereas the Imperial Knights didn't suffer from that because it's more of the larger Knights in that composition.
What are they classified as in for this? If they have like 3 of the little knights or 1 big knight in like a T-Suns or Death Guard, is it still T-Suns Death Guard or is it Chaos Soup? What is it actually?
It'll be Soup. It'll be listed as Soup.
Okay, so it's only 2 Soup.
Well, and if it isn't, it should be.
The Imperial Agent, it doesn't, it breaks the rules.
It does, but I still think I think is the faction. If you are 100% of the faction, I mean, I guess you're not Imperial Soup if you take an Inquisitor, are you? So it is actually a thing.
Yeah,
that we have to discuss.
Maybe there are some knights in some of these lists. We just don't like it. It depends on how they listed it, right? So we don't know for sure. That's interesting to find out, though. I might look into that because I want to know. Xenosuper Faction. There are 14 Necrons, 16 Orcs, and 27 Tau.
Wait, what did you say?
27 Tau.
So 50% of the Xenos at this event are Tau.
Just under, yeah.
Yeah. Huge. And the hits keep coming. They don't stop coming. What's up next?
Yeah, okay. Well, this is the one we were talking about. The Hive Mind Super Faction. There are 30 Tyranids. But I mean, 287 players, 30s, that's, that's not crazy, right? That's normal. Tyranid Overlords, welcome. We can make Overmind and good biomass. There are also 4 GSC players there, Heroes of the Swarm. Eldari Super Faction, there are 10 Eldari, 14 Drukhari, 11 Harlequins, and 16 Assyriani. So pure even spread, as always, just higher numbers in there because it's a bigger event, obviously. But it's still, no matter how many players there are, the Eldari Super Faction always seems to even out, at least be pretty standardly even, and especially the Assyriani kind of taking a bit of a spike there. And Drukhari actually being a little higher than I expected as well. But that makes the faction podium Tyranids at 30, and then Tau at 27, and Custodes at 18.
This is crazy. I mean, not unexpected, but I mean, what's the next one down from Tau is 9 less. So there's the top of the meta starting to get a bit homogenous. It's starting to really polarize around NIDs and what can beat NIDs. But the Custodes is totally an outlier, guys. People have the tales of their demise been overinflated? Are they still fine?
Yeah, absolutely. People like I understand like when you get kicked in the balls that hard, you definitely you take a step back and like, oh wow, that hurt. But they're fine. They lost a bit of their tech, a bit of their durability, but their damage output didn't change much. Their build may have changed a little bit.
Did durability change, or their ability to score, like how effectively they can score points or how frequently they can score points?
I don't think their point scoring changed that much. The OBSEC hurt them, but like for the characters and like Sagittarius, that kind of stuff. But I don't think all they need to do is change their list a little bit. And a lot of people weren't using them that much for their points. They maybe lost, I'll say 8 points a game for it on average, but they can get it elsewhere.
Do we think this is the start of a new trend where literally all the Custodes players took a month off while they recalibrated, sussed out some new stuff, maybe played some Marines or some Eldar in the loo, and now they're all coming back to it?
Maybe. I mean, maybe they saw some of the things that are actually in the meta and thought to themselves, you know what, we actually still beat this. Like we can compete.
Look, sometimes the players can be reactionary as well. Like if the news is just that your army is not as good as it was yesterday, but then you take some time to realize maybe it is, or maybe I just have to change 1 or 2 characters, or something like that, or 1 unit out, or get another box of this, that, and the other, and then get it on the table. And maybe that's what it took.
It's true. A lot of the Custodes players probably have it's the same with I think most competitive lists, like higher competitive lists that have like 1,500 points that are pretty standard, and then 500 points that you'll be changing from tournament to tournament based on what the meta is. Until there's a huge shift, which just happened for Custodes. So that's the only time that 1,500 points they have to reevaluate. Like you said, get those new models, get them painted up, put them in their army, and here they go. They're good to go again.
Let's not forget they're also a great travel army, and
they are
larger tournaments like this. People coming that could also contribute to this. But it is remarkable that they are in the 3rd position here on this podium.
It really is, and it's and while I'll do a little bit of foreshadowing, they don't hit another. They do hit the podium again this week. In the third place once again. So it's
Oh,
not
okay.
just not nothing.
Like, look, we look at trends here, as far
We
as that kind of
do.
stuff goes. So maybe there is something right there, like y'all were talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Spot on. Top players in attendance, gentlemen. We have 3 of the top 10 in the UK in attendance. It is a big, fatty 200 plus player super major. You're going to bring out some big dogs who want to get those big points to maintain their standing or increase their standing. Top ranked gentleman in attendance is Conrad Barkowitz. 5th rank in the UK is playing Eldari. This is a Dark Patrol and a Hail of Doom Masterful Shots Vanguard. The patrol is as thus. It's got a Troop Master, 3x5 troop with a bunch of weapons into 3 Star Weavers. Nice, tight little package. Does a lot of good stuff, especially with Dark and some CP. Then it's got a Vanguard with Baharoth, because why wouldn't you? A Farseer Skyrunner, 3 units of 10 Dire Avengers. And I can tell you right now, after playing Dire Avengers all weekend, and the weekend just gone at the Australian Team Championships, they are not okay. They are not reasonable.
Nope.
they're not fine.
Nope.
10 Swooping Hawks, 9 Wind Riders, and 2 Wave Serpents. E.g., this is a vanguard of violence. Everything just slaps. In addition, brings together a great dichotomy of to the last options in the Wind Riders, the Swooping Hawks, and I think Baharoth is the third, which is
He's
extremely hard.
160 points or whatever, I think.
145.
yeah.
I think he's just above the Wave Serpents, I think. Or the
He's
same cross.
phenomenally good to the last. You just come into grips with him, and the Swooping Hawks is so ridiculously difficult because they get to reposition every turn, and then the Wind Riders are always firing, fading, being insulated by Protect and whatever other defensive powers you have. This is a really good flexible list, and Conrad's been doing phenomenally well with it. But what do you guys make of it?
I always love the Dark Harlequin Patrol mixed in with the Eldar, because the luck dice are amazing, and so are the Strands of Fate. But what you gain from combining these two, I think, is actually better. I agree. I do think that.
You want to talk us through that a little bit?
Sure. So, like, for the luck dice, if you're pure Harlequins, you get extra luck dice. So, like, 3, they'll usually roll 2 dice, and if they don't get doubles, they get 5 luck dice, which is basically a free reroll. So 5 free rerolls for anything until next battle round, which is really good. It's basically 5 free CP, and you could do it on right now. You can do it on multiple things. You could reroll several of the same saves, or several of the same hits or wounds, anything like that. Strands of Fate you'll be able to get up to 6, I think it is. Yeah, up to 6, and an auto 6 on a charge roll, auto 6 on a psychic roll, wound roll, hit roll, and those are good tech pieces. Like, don't get me wrong, they're really good, but you lose both of those if you combined.
I thought you kept the Strands.
Do you keep the Strands?
I thought you just lost the laughing.
Oh, well, then that's easy then.
Yeah,
that's
just, no brainer.
That's even better. Okay, so you just lose the luck dice. I don't even have to explain the Strands. That's even better. I thought it was good even without the Strands. With the Strands, why wouldn't you do this?
Please correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but that is my understanding. In addition, I don't want to say I told you. I told everyone so. But if you remember when the Eldari Codex came out, check out any podcast. Adam said eventually we're going to end up the best Eldari list is going to be aggressive. It's going to be Harlequins and Ashirani. But back then I said it was going to be all the support platforms and the Night Spinners. But that was because of the.
And I said Dire Avengers, and y'all looked at me like I was crazy.
It's crazy.
Dire Avengers are very strong, especially
I had 1 unit of 9 Dire Avengers shoot twice and overkilled 5 Paladins to the effect that they killed 7 fully buffed Paladins with 1 unit of 9 Dire Avengers shooting twice.
Yeah, that's not okay.
It was not reasonable.
That's not okay.
You put the Dire Avengers in a situation where you can reliably just lose one of them, and then they give the stratagem and lets us go berserk essentially on top of all the other
ones. It blows up. Maybe
yes.
Oh, now I shoot twice. Well, that's okay.
Next top gentleman in attendance is Vic Vijay, coming off the back of, I think he won the most recent 100 plus player event in the UK with, I think, exactly the same list as this. 6th rank in the UK, Hail of Doom, Masterful Shots, Outrider, and Patrol. The Patrol stands as thus: Baharoth, 2x10 Dire Avengers. It's almost like they're good guys. 2x10 Swooping Hawks, which is something that is quite unique here. Then he's got 3 units of 7 Wind Riders and 3 Shining Spears. The Outrider consists of 3 Warlock Skyrunners, a Farseer Skyrunner, a Farseer, making the nice duality for the Eldritch Storm.
Yeah, I like this, just basically leaning really very much into Eldritch Storm here.
Yeah, big time. 5 Rangers, another 10 Dire Avengers, the same 30 in the previous list as well, and 2 single of Vipers to go and do some shenanigans. This is also an extremely good list. I always question when I see multiple units of Swooping Hawks what the other 10 man is there for, because you run into like an Armor of Contempt army and they actually just don't do anything. So must be there for Tau, must be there for Nids.
Yeah,
is
it's
what I'm assuming.
Tyranids. They're not worried about
Mm.
Space Marines. Like I believe the general must believe that they can outplay Space Marines. They can outplay even the Thousand Sons of the Death Guard, and so you just want that quantity of shots. Although the auto wounding is not insignificant, but again that plays
Mm.
largely into Tyranids and probably
Yeah.
Tau, I guess.
Well, they
Yeah,
dropped the
I
Woodrunners down to 7, so it looks like they're going for the Swooping Hawks to both be the bottom
Double.
to the last with
and
Baharoth.
and Baharoth is
Yeah.
the idea. So it's just EG, just write the 15 at the start of the game, and
Mhm.
good luck to you trying to take even 5 off me. Like good freaking luck is what I think that is. I think that's my assumption.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense. What do you think of the because you played them last weekend too? I've tried this too. Like, what do you think of the Eldritch Storm? Like people leading the Eldritch Storm. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Eldritch Storm is very strong, but for every single time that I've seen it actually used, it's been very lackluster.
It's like most of the Orb Bs and their equivalents. The threat of it is usually worse than the
Right.
application.
Yeah,
Over
It's
above
usually
hard
way
mode
worse.
is what
Yeah,
you're
for sure.
you're mentioning. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Orb B. Yeah. But it's usually the threat of, hey, if you bunch up, I might just
Mhm.
is worse than what
But
usually
sometimes it
happens.
happens, especially when you have
I,
fast moving, you have redeployments and all
dude,
these other things you can do.
I
Um, you
watched
know,
it. I
we
watched the
yeah, we've
game
seen
on
30
stream.
wounds get done.
30 models just like bang, and you're like,
That
you can't
happens.
risk it. You can't risk it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. The few times that I've actually managed to get it off too, when I've tested these kind of lists, because you got to play what you're going to fight against, guys. It's the only way you learn how to beat it. I've said that
Mm.
before. So when I've tried this too, like the whole time, people are like, oh yeah, no, don't want to get that, don't want to get that. And then once they're like, oh no, I grouped them, like, aha, gotcha, and I use it like, oh, that wasn't that great.
Mm.
And it's not like you don't want Farseers. Oh no, let me cast Guide.
Yeah.
Oh no, let me cast this other great Doom.
Yeah,
Like
there's
there's
Ugh.
all
these
these.
other powers that are amazing.
Yeah. So
That was
it's not a
actually
bad move to put
similar.
them in there.
No, definitely not. It's similar to when I used to run the 15 zone throws back when we had the similar stratagem to pick a point and explode around there. Just the threat of it.
Or
I rarely used it, but when I did,
yeah.
it was great.
Or in 8th edition, another good one was the triple doom size for Necrons. When they
Triple
would
doom
just rock
size,
up
triple
if they went
vindicator.
first.
Nobody did, but it was
The
thing.
Vindies never got in range was the issue.
Yeah.
Because they had to be able to get within 24-inch range. But the doom size was like whole table. Anywhere
Yep.
on the table you bunch up, I'm going to get
Yep.
you. Next top list in attendance.
But 1 second though, I want to talk
Yep.
about the Vipers in this list. I think
talk
it's easy
about
to
it.
look at the Vipers and go, Vipers haven't been good in a decade or whatever. Vipers are a really low point investment for the army, and they
Mhm.
also pretty much contribute to how you block off and screen things
Mm.
because they have the wider footprint, and
Yep.
so that keeps you in the driver's seat of the trade game. And what I mean is Eldari don't trade; they simply just take your units away, and part of that is making sure that you can never get to what their juicy center is, their
Mhm.
creamy center, and that's the Vipers contribute to that.
What are they? They're 40 points? I mean, people
45.
take what? 35?
45.
45. Okay, thanks. People take 55 point land speed of storms for the same purpose, but I got to tell you, the Viper is faster, has way more stratagem support, and it's better guns. And
Couple
And
shuriken cannons
There's
if you
sure
want.
in Masterful Shots, it's auto wounding on
Masterful Shots.
6s too.
Yeah,
So it's
and they
benefiting
go
from the whole
cover.
crap world.
It's 10 points less to be, like, in my opinion, 20 points better than a land speed of storm.
Yeah.
And we take them all the freaking time in marine armies for the same purpose. They'll go out, they'll get you engaged on all fronts because they're a vehicle as well. They'll go and get in the way, tag stuff. You don't want to be tagged, like forcing battleship units to either fall back or shoot into them instead of going and being aggressive. It's a phenomenal tool.
Yeah, sorry to take us back. Just wanted to talk about that because it really, it plays way larger than what it just looks like on this page right now.
Yeah. Next top gen in attendance is Henry Byrne, or Bernie, 10th in the UK. He's playing Thousand Suns, Cult of Time, Double Patrol. He's got Ahriman, an Exalted Sork, 5 Rubiks, and 2 units of 10 Scarab O's, or Scarab Occult Terminators. His second patrol is a Terminator Sorcerer, 2 Infernal Masters, which is something I rarely see. I usually never really see 2 Infernal Masters. That, for those who don't know, that's essentially 2 Chaplains. It's very rare for you to see outside maybe Black Templars.
Got so many Terminators to buff, though.
Yeah, 5 more Rubiks and another 10 Scarab Occult Terminators. I think we're at the level of this meme where someone needs to make me a 1,000 Suns cereal box with Scarabos on it, and it's just dust. It's just sawdust in a bag and you put it on your cereal because it's
Sawdust.
we're
That's what you attribute all of the thousands of to sawdust.
they're dusty boys, you know.
I know they're dusty, but sawdust.
What you're gonna go to the desert and get sand? Nah, get some
Yeah,
sawdust.
that's
Crush
right.
up some Fruit Loops. It'll look very zinchy.
Yeah, crush up the Fruit Loops. It'll look
Crush up
colorful
some
too. It'll be
if you want
perfect.
if you want a really long bow to string, you'd crush up Doritos, right? If you want to just string it back to another 40k meme.
Wow.
There was an old meme of somebody using Doritos as basing material. So I'm trying to bring it all the way back to another 40k meme.
Okay.
But someone do
Digging
a cereal box with Scarabos. It comes with exactly 30 servings of Scarabo.
What do y'all think about this double patrol here? And instead of, what are they trying to accomplish here with the two patrols?
It's to
One
not
less
take a
squatted
trip.
rubrics.
Yeah, he
That's
wanted to the gentleman
More.
or the Henry wanted to spend more points on HQs. Like he's got 5 HQ choices essentially, with one of them being without a slot. But that was the payoff. He's like, oh well, I can get another Termy Sork in here if I don't take 5 rubrics, and I suppose that was worth the trade in his mind.
Okay.
The list, it's very predictable. I think is because you have so few units to kind of move around. Or am I missing something here? Do you just score points? Like I just score points. You'll never take me off the objectives.
You're never gonna kill enough of my stuff. I'm just gonna be there. I'm gonna get there first, and it's gonna hurt. I personally prefer Cult of Duplicity over Cult of Time, having played and seen a bunch of T-Sunder games recently. I think if same list, just Cult of Duplicity, people aren't killing these things anyway. Like how much. If they're not dying, why do you need to bring them back? Just play tighter, a little bit tighter.
That may be a good point though. Is it? But unless he's finding that he's losing, because Cult of Time, you're going to get 1 or 2 Terminators back
every turn. Yeah, exactly right. And you can auto heal one up to full. But with Duplicity, you get to start on the objectives. You get to just redeploy your stuff. You get Gate of Infinity. You get to bounce out of trouble if you're in trouble. So, e.g., you save the investment anyway. Higher ceiling, but when stuff goes wrong, you can't just revamp the boys like you can with Cult of Time. So it is a bit of give and take.
I feel like I think you're onto something there. That maybe the Cult of Time is the more reliable one.
Absolutely.
The Cult of Duplicity might be a little bit more like interactive.
It just has a few more plays, a few more fringe plays. Whereas the Cult of Time is literally, I'm just coming straight through you, and you can't kill me in time, and I'm just going to outlast you. It seems like if people wanted to, they could lean enough into that to make some issues. Don't know if it's ever going to happen though.
So look, we know we have a ton of Tyranids and a ton of Tau here. So safe bets there. You going with the safe bets of which faction's taking this down? Dustin, what do you think?
The safe bets. I mean, you know what I'm going to be voting for if we're going for safe bets. If I'm going to be a little spicy with my pick, though, which I kind of want to be, I'm going to pick an Imperial Knight.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick a Knights to get a podium at every event this weekend.
I don't think a Knight will win it, but a podium. I want a podium. I want a Knight podium.
I want it to happen. I got to pick one of these boys. 2 of the top players in attendance are taking Eldari, but there is a gentleman named David Gaylard who top 8'd LVO just gone, who's playing a very spicy, very strong tier in his list, who's also in attendance. So I think I can't not call Tyranids for a podium, but I want one of the Eldari to get top place and show that there can be 30 Tyranids in the freaking meta, and Eldar, there's still players out there who can find a way.
We got a comment in the chat. I got to take us back just 1 second. Is that Cult of Duplicity is less reliable?
Exactly right. Yeah, that's.
No, there's
wink, wink. Yeah,
see what I'm doing? Yeah,
see what you're doing. Yeah. Just the whole thing's Alpha Legion. There is no Cult of Duplicity. It's Cult of Alpha Legion.
Oh, but look, I haven't done this in a while, but I have to give a pick here. Blood Angels.
Hey. Did you watch Motor City? Our Canadian Blood Angel player, top 8, man. That's right. It's amazing.
I mean, of course, I'm not surprised.
I know you weren't surprised. Most people shouldn't have been, because Sam's an amazing player, but I wanted to make sure I called that out because he did amazing.
Good stuff.
That's good. They really, what's not to like about it? I mean, all the Marines, got a bit of a buff, and I think Blood Angels are right there where they can.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of Blood Angels here. Like they're the top Marine represented faction here. Yeah, they are.
I mean, you got me, Paul. It's been so long between drinks, I didn't predict that. And it's the most predictable thing you could have done. And I was like, oh yeah. Might say Renegade Knights, might say like Death Guard or something.
All right. So next event we're going to go to is the Mayhem GT in Mabane, North Carolina, USA. Beautiful part of the country. If you're not familiar with it, absolutely awesome. 87 players, 5-round event. What are we seeing there?
There's going to be Imperial Super Faction. There's 5 Sisters, 5 Custodes, 1 Admech, 1 Grey Knight, 5 Imperial Knights. Pretty even spread for the most part. Space Marine Super Faction. There's 1 Dark Angel, 1 Space Wolf, 3 Ultramarines, 3 Black Templar, 1 White Scar, and 1 Iron Hands. Chaos Super Faction. There's 5 Chaos Space Marines, 4 T-Suns, 4 Death Guard, and 4 Renegade Knights. There's more Chaos Space Marines here than there are at the 287-man event. That's interesting.
Yes.
Xeno Super Faction, 3 Necrons, 2 Orcs, only 2 Tau. Ooh, I like this.
It's a beautiful world.
Tournament. Beautiful world.
Yeah.
Hive Mind Super Faction, 9 Tyranids, and a GSC player. The Eldari Super Faction, there's 4 Eldari, 3 Harlequins, and 8 Asurion. Not a single Drukhari.
I was about to point it out. Very ominous that they may have been sucked out of the Drukhari, because my belief is they really struggle versus Tyranids. Like, really struggle versus Tyranids.
So did they jump to the Chaos Space Marines? That seems like a weird audible. I mean,
Where did they go? Yeah, where did they go?
Look,
The next
we're
question.
just looking at
They're
the
waiting
data.
in Komoro, okay? They're waiting
Yeah.
in Komoro.
No, they're all playing Asurani because they're all
They're all
playing
playing Asuriani. Let's be real. That means the faction podium is Tyranids at 9, Asuriani at 8, and then Chaos Space Marines, Sisters, and Custodes, and Imperial Knights tied in third with 5.
Beautiful spread.
That's
beautiful
a beautiful
spread.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
There's even with the highest one there of Tyranids at 9, Asuriani's one behind it. Like, that's amazing. That's a great spread. This is going to be it's really even tournament. You're actually going to get a lot of different games against different people. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and look, like 9 to 8 between Tyranids and Asuriani isn't that big, and even from them down to the rest of the third places isn't that big a gap between 4. Like, we could have easily seen 10s, 12s in for Tyranids, and I mean, the fact that there's only 2 Tau, like, what does that tell you, gentlemen? Does that tell you something about possibly the terrain they're playing on, or does that tell you something about that maybe people have just realized that, you know, Nids, the Nid players there just trump their Tau player? Because that's what people are saying. People are saying that Tau is actually a good thing into Nids, especially if you go first. But it's weird now because, well, it used to be that 2 Harpies just meant that you won that game if you went first as the Tyrannid player.
Maybe people in North Carolina just got sick of playing only 2 phases of the game.
That's what I was about to say. Maybe all the players just went to the Alamo, which is what we're covering later.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, wait, here actually going to be a raffle of this of a night. So, you know, look, if it's going to be, I like this cool door prizes at events. I don't know if they can throw a picture. I don't know where you're, but I saw that comment in the chat. But you know, maybe throw a picture somewhere we can see it. Love to see it if you got some pics.
Top players in attendance for this one. We actually had some help from our lovely gentleman, Nick Dorich, who is attending this event. He threw up some of the top players in attendance for us because there wasn't any other gentlemen in the rankings as of yet. Still pretty early in the season. Jeremy Knox, he had some. Nick put up some flavor text saying that this was like the best looking guy in the local war, like the best, most handsome man, and he's a cryptocurrency savant of some kind. I just took him out. He was a bit salty about it. He's like, "Why'd you take out my silly notes, Adam? They were funny." But anyway, this gentleman is playing Eldari. Asurani, sorry. He's got an Outrider Patrol and a Fortification, which is all Hail of Doom Master for Shots. He's got an Outrider with 2 Warlock Skyrunners, a Farseer, Karandrus, 10 Dire Avengers, 5 Howling Banshees, 2x1 Wind Riders, and 2x1 War Walkers. I am quite a fan. Then he's got a Webway Gate and a Patrol with 2 Warlocks, Baharoth, a Farseer Skyrunner, 10 Guardian Defenders, a 9 and a 10-man Dire Avengers, and a 9 and a 10-man Swooping Hawks. Is this quite similar to the list that Nick Nanavati won with in Dallas?
I think it's an edited list because there was a Wraith Lord in Nick's list.
Yeah, I don't think he had a Karandrus in it either.
But he was talking about replacing the Wraith Lord with Karandrus, which would have necessitated the patrol. So that's probably an evolution of that. If you had to ask me.
This is a very good list. This is a very interesting, very flexible list. I think this is one of the Asurani lists with the most level scoring ability that we have seen, because it can just take like any of 12 secondaries and get like between 10 to 15 on all of them. The Guardians, the Warwalkers, and the Vipers all mean that you can just get 15 on engage, and that's a lot of power to just be like, well, everyone else takes engage and gets 12s, I take engage and get 15. I am 3 points above the pack. Same for Stranglehold, same for getting aggressive. And also, this is a list that really loves to roadblock. All those little units all get into the webway and just shoots those units out into your face, blocks avenues. I'm actually going to put out a bit of a statement here. It doesn't kill knights that well.
Well,
but holy crap, if this Eldar list goes first. They're just constantly roadblocked.
We had a bit of a pause when you said that. It was very
that was for
amazing
for drama.
It was pure drama. That was not lag, guys. That was pure drama on Adam's part.
Yeah. I'm just a thematic. Yeah.
Feel the pressure in the moment.
Theater, musical theater.
What we see is folks, trying to maximize this Hell of Doom and masterful shots. So, a lot of shuriken weaponry, and what's different than the list we were just talking about is it's been spread out more. What that list we were talking about a bit ago had a big block of shuriken cannon bikes. This is spread out in some other things, which. Again, I think that's why I say it's probably an evolution of that list, now built around some of the objectives that you were just talking about, reliability and secondaries.
Yeah, exactly right. It's kind of like leveling out the bell curve. There is no bell curve here. It just scores against everybody. And I think it's a very good list. It's at the extremes of flexibility. I'm a big fan. Next one is JD Carter, who is playing Questor Mechanicus House Raven Imperial Knights. Very easily, very simple. This is a configuration I expect to see for the next couple of months. This being 3 bigs and 4 little knights, 2 Armigers, 2 Helverins, a Crusader, an Errant, and a Paladin. This brings pretty much what I think is the best of the Bondsman abilities. The Crusader giving the Bliss skill 2+, the Errant giving advance and charge, and the Paladin giving real 1s to hit and 1s to wound. This is probably the archetype we could expect to see with people picking up this army, especially considering this is the configuration that has been played all the way through 7th edition, 9th edition. Went through all the wrong ones. With the triple Megara.
It's been played for a bunch of editions.
Yeah, a bunch. The triple Megara and the 4 e.g. Moirax's, Warglaves, Helverins. So people have this list. They're ready to go. They just take off the weapons, put on the other magnetized weapons, bada bing, bada boom. What do you gents think of it?
I think you're right. I think this is what we're going to see for Imperial Knights, at least for a while, until if something else gets figured out. But this is the go-to with after reading the book the first time when I kind of read it too. It's like 3 big knights with Imperial Knights it's just the way to go right now. See, Chaos, I have different opinions on. It's not. I don't think 3 big knights is the way to go with them. I think, but most people agree with me on that one too. But Imperial for sure. Crusader, Errant, and Paladin. I actually love seeing Paladins again. I love seeing
the old schools.
The old schools, yeah.
Yeah, the OGs, the original
OGs.
trio.
Get those OGs knights out there.
The only one I question is the Errant over the Preceptor. I think I personally prefer the Preceptor because it'll make your 4 little knights just that much harder to kill. They can do the action and shoot, things like that you can bring along. That's my personal preference, but I don't think there's a wrong choice. First press competitive lists, just do whatever you feel is right. You'll find your way.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment on both counts. So that I think it's probably a more efficient choice, but not a wrong one.
I'm glad to see them on the table. It's one of those to where it's seemingly hard to get knights like right. Either on either side of it. It's either they're just like really overpowering in the game, or they feel like they're underpowered because they don't score enough. You're just not on the table long enough. I think there may be a kind of a nice balance for that particular issue in these codexes, and we'll see if it plays out over the course of this weekend.
Absolutely right. Last list we are going to break down is Mr. Michael Walsh. He has a battalion of Bloody Rose Sisters. Starts off with the Repentia Superior, Canoness, Morven Baal, because you wouldn't leave home without her. 2 units of 5 Battle Sisters, a unit of 10 Novitiate. 2 Crusaders, Dogmata, Hospitaller, 4 Sisters Repentia, which is my preferred configuration. I love having the four sisters to just go and do the little stuff. You don't have to use 8 to go and kill 5 doofuses on an objective around a wall. 5 Seraphim, 2 units of 5 Zephyrim, which are kind of for the same purpose as well, also charging from reserve. A single Castigator, 2 units of 10 Retributors. I'm seeing the bigger squads more and more, boys. And I wonder if you can pick why. And then a single Rhino. Good, well-rounded list. I can't really pick any holes in it. I think it's just really solid.
Mike's a buddy from a long time ago. Great player. a fixture in these tournaments and always does well. I think the Adeptus Sororitas is one of those armies where that experience and knowing what individual pieces do and how to leverage them at the right time lends
Mhm.
itself that type of ability lends itself to an army like this. Would expect him to do very well over the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
The
What do you
sisters
make
list,
of it?
I'm liking the sisters list that are coming out right now. It's a lot of them are a lot of the MSU style that we're seeing now with a couple of the 10 men 10 lady retributor squads, and I think it actually makes a lot of sense now they got more durability. The retributor squads usually would come out, kill something, and then die. Now
Yeah.
with armor contempt and 5 extra blade of wounds, they're a lot harder to chew through, especially like extending in cover. So now these retributor squads, they might actually get to shoot a couple times because you're gonna have to put a lot more, or either that, or you have to put a lot more into them to get them off the table.
Yeah, and I wonder in this list if they're to the last options with Morven Val. Is that how that lines up in your heads as well? I think they're about 250 points for 10 rets with the full
I
Makes
get
complement of
sense.
multi
10,
melters.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
once, yeah, that's right. And this is what we saw. That configuration is what we saw with Jack Harpster take a couple weeks ago as well. So maybe this is making it in functionally for that exact reason. It's like, do you really want to invest a bunch of shots into them to only pick up a few,
Yeah.
bolter sisters?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
thing. And because it's the 10 man too, you can have the heavy weapons out in front to shoot whatever they want to shoot, and all of the other ones can be behind them in cover,
yeah,
behind the wall,
yeah.
just get all this extra cover, right? So it works. It works. I
It
like
works
it.
well.
Y'all
There's
aren't
only
asking the right question though.
Yeah.
What's up with this castigator? Like, what is going on?
Yes, I was going to get to it in a sec.
Okay.
I was going to ask you boys how you feel about it because that castigator with a couple of tweaks could be 3 Paragon Warsuits, which I think I prefer better for a Bloody Rose list. But if you're taking the 2 units of Rets, that's like almost that's 500 points of your list. Maybe you're already playing a bit more of a backboard presence, so it makes a bit more sense. But yeah, I have heard people touting its praises. I just don't get it.
Well, look, actually, the pile of this list is in the chat, so maybe we can get some
Perfect. There we
real-time
go.
updates as to
Explain yourself.
yeah,
is the
what
word.
Explain
is this
yourself,
castigator?
sir.
Look, I understand
Justify yourself to us.
Let
the
us know.
rules. I've benefited. The castigator is like it's better. Also, it's better than it used to be. But what is putting it in folks' list right now? What are we not seeing? Because like it'd be right now. Those types of tanks don't seem to really be what are doing a lot of damage in people's list. You either in the Eldari, you're going to see the fast moving things, and they have other functions, and they carry things that allow you to jump out. Even in the Tau. But like, what is this? What is essentially just a battle
So
tank?
the theory is there is nothing that now that the Exorcist is unfortunately with the changes to line of sight shooting is kind of dead. Unfortunately, you just need a piece in your army that will reach the back of their board. That will actually just reach out to the deployment zone and do some work. A threat, something to keep them honest, not just being like, well, I'm not coming to the mid board because I am Dark Angels and I took these 3 stupid secondaries and I have no reason to. So you have something just to plink, just to do something to make them want to play the game with you.
Yeah.
That's the theory, and I 100% agree with
well, that's
it.
what we're getting in the chat too. Is basically got some damage to shots, being able to
Mm.
kind of work some angles, and then it does similar things as it does in the Eldari list. So yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate you tuning in. But yeah, I expect this list to do well and Mike to do well as well. So it's gonna be cool. I'm just going to go and say, that's my pick to win this thing.
No pressure,
Whoa.
zero pressure, Mike. Like
No
zero.
pressure.
Look, you're
No,
gonna
seriously,
show up.
listen.
You're gonna give us some real time answers on the list.
Yeah, you got to
Like,
perform now. Back it up.
Already a
Perform.
champion. Yeah.
There you go. You got it.
Paul's writing you the check. He's laying that hand of destiny on you.
The hand of destiny.
Good luck to you, mate. Let's have a quick look. What's your prediction, Dustin?
If I'm looking at what's going on in here, I really like the Assyriani lists. They're so good. They're really hard to deal with, I think. And that's and I think what's going on here. Oh,
We have 5 CSM players, and one of them's getting a podium. So saith.
wow.
Let's do it. Come on.
If it was going to happen, this is the time to do it. I mean, this is a good amount of players, 5 rounds, and we've seen Chaos Space Marines, and this is no joke, almost like table knits, and all they need is like one or two turns to go in their favor to like maybe just have just an average or a little maybe even slightly above average turn, and depending on the composition of that list, they're in it.
So there have been 2 Chaos Space Marine lists operating in Australia over the last kind of month or so, and they've both been horrifically terrifying. One of them is the 60 Possessed has become resurgent again.
Right.
That we saw at the start of 9th edition. It crushed that first Uprising super major we had. And the other one has been the full complement Emperor's Children, that being the 30 Terminators, 2 of them with combi melters, huge unit of redeploying Noise Marines to kill off any freaking screen you think might be able to stop the Terminators just getting into you. And then a small baby unit of Chosen inside a Rhino, because they can, if you manage to get all your screens out of line of sight, then instead of using the Noise Marines to clear them, it'll use the Rhino with the Chosen. That'll kind of auto charge you. And it's been performing really well.
Man, you're taking really crazy pills this week. It is about the Dreadclaw.
Oh, dude.
Sometimes are amazing. I love them.
Sometimes you don't need it. But yeah, it's pretty baller.
It's all about the
Dreadclaw.
I'm with Paul on that one.
No, but that's what we've seen with just that there are some tricks still in the Chaos Space Marines bag there that they can bring out and that work well against what we're seeing at the top right now. It may struggle against some of the stuff it's been historically struggling against, but it seems to work really well against some of those top lists. So you might be just dead on with that.
We see this, so we've seen this throughout 9th edition, when you see the narrowing of the 8th edition armies, the ones that have 8th edition rules, who have all these spicy stuff that we had in 8th edition we don't have now, especially the double activations. I said it when Asurani got their book, that they were the second last holdout of the double activation. Chaos Space Marines is now the last holdout of a full complement of double activations. Double move, double fight, double shoot. They are like one of the last holdout that has the full complement. And if you can still use those well, you can just win games. You can just freaking win games. But it's just extremely hard because they don't have the wounds. They don't have the resilience that we've come to expect from 9th edition books.
You need a turn to just go your way, or to not go your way, I guess is probably a better way of saying it. And that's what we find. I think that's what takes them out more often than not, is that they'll battle through a strong list and then run into another strong list, and then just the luck will run out. And I don't mean luck in the sense of they're lucky to be there, but they just will have a slightly under average turn.
There's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said for a faction getting a lift by default of been the only thing in the meta that does a thing, whether that's it's on conventionally bad units, on bad chassis units, like a Chaos Space Marine chassis is a bad chassis, but it does stuff you can't get anywhere else. So e.g., I expect them to see a bit of an uplift. They already are in Australia, but waiting for the rest of the world to catch on.
I like that 60 Possessed idea. We've seen that that's when you see it across the table, you think you've got it in a bag, and then they're all over you. You're like, what is happening?
So the gentleman who was running it in Australia was running it. Well, he's running Chaos Soup because he would take a patrol of Slanesh Demons just to take the gem and a 1 unit of Fiends. And all it takes is for you to forget what Fiends do, and you just put out a crude screen, because you can't fall back from Fiends if they're within an inch. If you're in engagement range of Fiend. So 1 Possessed and 1 Fiend to get within an inch of you, and you lost the game playing Tau into that list, because you have a whole unit of 20 Possessed on your doorstep you can't shoot or interact with anymore, and then they kill the Crute and they kill your whole freaking army next turn. It's disgusting. We did the math where it takes 4 to 6 Possessed to kill a full unit of Crisis Suits. Just fully buffed it to dead.
You guys obviously haven't had some above average rolling on these invuln saves, then, man, because I've
bad experience with 3 Dreadclaws. I think one's all you need. 1 is probably all you need.
3's good. Bring 3.
But look, I can't hate. Yeah, go for 3. Chaos Space Marine, that's it. So the last one we got. Actually, let's take a quick break for a word for our sponsors. Then we'll come back and talk about the last grand tournament we're going to talk about this week. And then after that, we get a little bit of a palate cleanser. If you're new here, we have a segment we call the Fuego Rapido, where we run down a list of rapping that they have something to do with wearing 40,000. Sometimes they don't. You'll have to tune in to the end of the show to figure that out with us. But hang tight. We'll be right back.
At Frontline Gaming, we make the best tabletop gaming mats in the universe. Our mats are durable, rollable, foldable, wipeable, and storable. Oh, and they look damn great, too. Join the thousands of tournament regulars and garage gamers who use our mats to bring their gaming surfaces sure quality. Frontline Gaming mats are custom-made one at a time, printed with high-quality ink. Our immersive designs stay crisp and are available in a wide range of styles and sizes. So whether you're playing a war game or skirmish game, whether you're fighting over an alien tundra, fantastical forest, or real-world setting, there's a great-looking battlefield for you. Our gaming mats are printed on extremely durable neoprene backing, so they won't slide around the table. And they're thick enough to stay flat, protecting what's underneath and allowing for slight uneven surfaces. We know from experience that an easily portable gaming surface is just better. Every mat comes with a sturdy nylon zip-up bag for storage and transportation. Whether your next battle is in your home or at the local game store, you'll be able to unroll your FLG mat and get gaming right away. Our products are all made and tested by passionate gamers at Frontline Gaming HQ right here in the USA. It's time to take your battlefield to a new level. Frontline Gaming, champions of tabletop.
And we are back. Thanks for checking out that word from our sponsors. The next one we want to talk about is the Alamo Grand Tournament in San Antonio, Texas. It's here in the U.S. 123 players, 6-round event.
Quick and dirty stats for this one. We have 1 Imperium, which is Dark Angels and an Imperial Knight. Ooh, you just had to point that out, Adam. Of course you did. 3 Sisters, 7 Custodes, 1 Admech, 4 Astra Militarum, 13 Grey Knights. And
That's the first Grey Knight spike we've seen, right?
That's
week.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was quite a few at the first one, but that 287 player event, like at 123, 13 is massive. Like that's a lot of Grey Knights for sure. Space Marine Super Faction, there are 2 Dark Angels, 4 Space Wolves, 6 Blood Angels. Still spiking the Marines here with the Blood Angels. 3 Ultramarines, 2 Salamanders, 1 Imperial Fist. Chaos Super Faction, there's 1 Chaos Soup, 1 Chaos Space Marine, 5 T-Stuns, 1 Death Guard, 1 Demon, and 4 Renegade Knights. Xenosuper Faction, there are 2 Necrons, 5 Orcs, and 9 Tau. Hive Mind Super Faction, 17 Tyranids. They're still taking over here. 1 GSC, and then the Eldari Super Faction to finish it all out. There is 8 Eldari, 3 Harlequins, and 7 Assyriani.
So notice a trend?
The faction podium is Tyranids topping it out at 17, followed closely by Grey Knights at 13, and then Tau at 9.
2 big events this weekend, 0 Drukhari between them.
No Drukhari. Where'd they go?
Very interesting. Where did they go? Indeed.
Where did they go?
I'm not too surprised about the Grey Knights. I think that they are kind of getting a bit of a bad rap out there right now.
Oh, for sure.
I think they're better than what the stats indicate that they have been. We've been seeing them.
100% agree, dude.
Maybe Texas has figured that out.
I went through every single one of the Grey Knight lists in attendance just to suss out what was going on there, because this is the first big spike they've had in since the Dread Knights. And I wanted to know what was going on, and they've all kind of pivoted into this nice, spicy power armor MSU build. A lot more Terminators and Paladins than I remember as well. Did you guys know you can take Paladins in 3-mans?
Yeah.
I think it's always been that way, right?
Yeah, you can, but everyone seems to have forgotten. That is such a value buy. That is such a value buy 3-man. It can do so much. It can be so annoying, and it takes so much resource to destroy from your opponent. I think it's incredible.
But don't you want, for Knockman data, you want to have a few more than that?
Yeah, but honestly, if you but what you want to do,
you're not using Paladins for Knockman data though. That's an investment.
I guess it depends on how many Dread Knights you have.
Yeah. But the idea is they become your trading pieces, and then your opponent's like, "Oh crap, what the hell trades with Paladins?" And like, "Oh man, I need to use like 2 characters and 8 Sangard to make sure this dies." And then
that's a great point.
Wasn't a trade anymore, was it, brother? Bang, win.
3 possessed.
I like it a lot.
That's what
3 possessed. But they only come in packs of 20, don't you know?
Oh yeah,
well, that makes sense.
Sorry,
2.5 possessed.
2.5 possessed.
So top players in attendance here: Nathaniel Bajorg.
I think I said it better last week. I feel better about it now. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah. What was it? What was it last week?
I don't want to repeat
Bjorg, right?
I said Bjorgi or Bjorgi, something like that. Yorgi.
Oh,
Yorgi. That might be it, actually.
I don't think that we know ill intent by mispronouncing these names.
So
we just don't know how to read.
Genuinely trying to make it right for you. That's the
I did very little schooling, in case anybody knows. Very, very small formal education. But this gentleman, Nathaniel, is ranked 6, taking Kraken Tyranids. He's got a battalion and a patrol. He's got a Neurothrope, a Flyerant, a big unit of 9 warriors, 2 units of 4 warriors. The 2 units of 4 just have double bone swords, by the way. Just to something to talk about later. It's got Death Leaper, a unit of 3 and a unit of 2 Pyrovores, 3 Venom Thropes, and 2 units of 3 Zoanthropes wrap out the patrol. Sorry, the battalion. And into the patrol is a Neurothrope, a Flyer, and simply 10 Gargoyles. This is a good list.
We've seen that patrol come in a lot.
Yeah,
like that's a patrol that gets slotted into I think the mini tier list where the bulk has a little bit of play, but that patrol we've seen pop up a bunch.
Well, it's very interesting, isn't it? Because it's literally just it's almost a tax unit to get in a second Flyerant, because Flyerants are just that damn good.
Absolutely.
And yet I say that, and there's 2 HQs in that patrol, so it's not just a tax for a Flyerant. It's you want the second Neuro as well. Maybe Dustin can unpack that for us.
So that's something that I actually wonder about too. Like the Neurothropes they're good. They're very good. Having 2 of them, maybe it's to make sure that their psychic secondaries are a lot more reliable, because you don't want to use the Flyrants for the psychic secondaries most of the time. The Neurothropes are the ones that can be hidden. They're the ones that can just safely do it, like in the middle of a bunch of warriors, and they have the 3-up invuln still. They're giving both the Flyrants in this case, because it doesn't look like you have a Maliceptor, so both the Flyrants are going to be casting on 3d6. So I mean, that it helps them be a lot more consistent with everything they are doing. I personally don't think the third or the second Neurothrope is necessary, but it's definitely a really good tech piece. And actually, it really helps, especially with the build that he's doing here. Even the Zoanthropes too, getting the Zoanthropes cast on 3d6 too. So,
am I right in thinking that Kraken might start seeing a bit of lift over Leviathan because of the extra strength that you can get on things like warriors?
Strength of the speed.
No, it's the speed you get for Kraken. It's the extra AP that people do it for because of Karma Attempt.
Who gives this
extra strength?
Is that how you get strength 8, or can you get strength 8 anyway?
Strength 8 is from Behemoth, and +1 to wound power.
Okay, yeah, because that's when I saw Kraken. I read it wrongly and thought it was going for the strength 8, try and contend with knights.
The Kraken has the auto 8 advance though. And again, they had the built-in extra AP that can be switched out. If you don't play Marines, you don't care about AP, you can switch it out for one of the other cool things in there. It's ridiculously versatile that way.
I don't know if this is intentional or not, but we have a comment in the chat says, Burrow laughing says, I'm not sure if I like 2 Neurothropes or not. I'm of 2 minds about it.
That guy, what's the name? Borg Lachlan. You just won. You just won. You won. But we didn't even know we were playing, and you won.
What's the next list?
So I just want to touch on something.
Moving on.
But before we go away, it's weird to see a Kraken list without Raveners. Just going to point that out. Kraken, no Raveners.
That
Strange.
is actually very weird.
I know Tyrant Guard in there either, which I thought was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's the normal for Kraken. If Kraken don't do that, but typically, Tyrant Guard are like a critical piece, and so why this general has chosen not to take them, that's an interesting thing to unpack, or at least to think about for me.
Yeah, no, it makes usually people would take them because they wanted to have the shooty Tyrant hidden with them and be able to overrun one of the Flyrants back to be safe again. So now having 2 Flyrants and only be able to overrun one of them back to safety, at this point, is it worth taking them? Just
nobody's safe.
Both in there. Nobody's
all aggression.
All aggression. They're cracking everything. Okay. Run forward, just go.
All right, moving on. Next gentleman in attendance. This is Wyatt Turk. He's a mad lad. He's not ranked or anything. He's just a mad lad, so I put his list in. And also he's playing Renegade Knights, so double down. Now, this is what I expect to see. This is just a good example of what we expect to see from Renegade Knights. Super heavy attachment. He's got a Knight Abominant, a Knight Desecrator, 3 Huntsmans, 2 Executioners, and 2 Brigands. For those people who don't know, maybe someone's able to tell us which configuration of the Huntsmans, Executioners, and Brigands.
Executioners are the autocannon ones, and the Brigands are the...
So they're the Helverins, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what, I'll tell you in a second. I also get the names mixed up, but those are the ones that he's got some shooting ones, and he's got the Meltas and the choppy ones.
Yeah.
So the Abominant's the psychic lad, and the Desecrator is the what? Yeah, is it the Crusader equivalent, or is it the No, it's got the super. It's got the super laser.
It's got the super laser,
destructor. Laser destructor, and
it's more like
it's the 24 wound one. It's not the Castellan size. It's the one down. It's the same tier as the Abominant.
Yeah, it's more like a a paladin, with
Yes.
one big kind of anti-everything gun and a combat weapon.
Yeah.
This configuration's here to soup up with the feel no pain power, right, from the Abominant onto all the little lads.
Probably the psychic power. There's a couple
Oh,
different psychic powers. One of them is that you cast it and you give your abominant a feel no pain, and then if you cast high enough on an 8 or more, it goes out to the war dogs around
To
you.
the masses.
because
yeah.
of a 6 up though. I don't think it's a 5 up for them, right? Just a 6 up for them if you cast it on.
Sounds right. So the brigand is the one with the multi melta and the auto cannon. Sorry, not the auto. The assault cannon, the 12 shot.
Okay, yeah. I actually like the 12 shot on that. Now, this is like
Dude.
this Renegade list is. I think this is the way to run them. If you're going to run Renegade Knights, this is how you run them.
When you're not taking any meta into account, like you're not trying to tool up for anything specifically, I think this is a great all-comers, and this is a great place to start with the book. I got really nothing negative to say. I unfortunately forgot to write down what house he is. So absolute apologies there, guys.
Oh,
It's a big deal.
Is he
So
Infernal? Is he Iconoclast? Like,
Yeah.
what is he?
I seem to remember it reading custom Iconoclast. I will double check for us quickly though.
Custom Iconoclast. That's
The
interesting.
the iconoclast gives you +1 attack, on your knights, and so maybe that's the plan here. But Infernal is pretty good.
Infernal is pretty good. I went through both of them like on my latest podcast episode too, and I think I'm still fully Iconoclast. The Infernal's really good, but I think the Iconoclast buffs overall are just better.
I went with the Infernal. Oh, mine. Like I
Really?
actually have an army. I've played this list a few times, or not this list, a different list. But I like the burst that you can get with your speed, and when you can move 17 inches across the table, your opponents sometimes they're second guessing some choices they made.
His list doesn't say.
We got the comment in the chat says that he is Infernal.
There
His
you go.
list
So
actually
he's
doesn't
on
say.
Paul's side.
Yeah, the list actually doesn't say which one it is. Waller trait, Favor of the Dark Mechanicus, additional Waller trait, Infernal Quest. So yeah, definitely on the Infernal
Okay.
side.
Sounds like
Infernal
he's
Quest
Infernal.
is good. Well, no, the Infernal
Yeah.
Quest, that's just a warlord trait that makes you objective secured. So,
But it says Infernal in it.
Yeah.
You can't be Iconoclast with an
Infernal.
Infernal trait. That's weird.
that's a warlord trait, right?
Sense?
I think so. I think this one makes you obsec.
But yeah, this is a good list, great list. I think Wyatt's going to have a lot of fun and do really well with it. He's definitely going to catch some people off with just how much pressure this can lay down. And I think that what's the profile on the chain cannon? 12 shots, strength
12 shots,
6,
strength 6?
Yeah.
neg 2-1.
No, I think it's -2. That's right. Yeah, I actually like that better than the Melta.
I think that's an amazing profile of so much toughness 5, medium bugs, tower crisis suits, just being speedy to get angles on Eldar as well. That is the plum profile to smash him. I think it's amazing. All right, next one down. This is the last list we're going to look at this weekend. This is Aaron Kellman. He has the benefit of having the first name on the list for the Grey Knights. Hence, that's why I brought it out, because it was the first one that came up. So that double A benefits.
Don't say that, because then people will be putting like it's one, TPM, and then
yeah. Larry.
Yeah.
He's got a Present Brethren battalion. It's very simple. I love it how simple this list is. A librarian, a grandmaster in Dread Knights, 2 units of 5 obsec terminators, which I think we should start seeing more of, because I think they're baller. 2 units of 5 strikes, 2 units of 3 paladins, a unit of 5 interceptors.
That's when you woke up. You're like 3 paladins.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap!
Yes, we found it.
Is that a
Just
typo?
today.
I'm like,
Just
wow. And then he's got a Dread Knight and a Rhino. And I suppose the Rhino is going to be having those 10 interceptors in it to give that first turn leapfrog into your lines. This is just a tight package of goodness. I wonder if 5 of the strikes could have gone, because I am a huge believer in the obsec termies at the moment. I think if you have the ability to take termies with obsec, just freaking take him.
He's maximizing that Rhino meta, man. He's got.
It's
how do I
true.
get the most out of my Rhino?
That's what I thought as well. I was like, if you didn't want to put any interceptors in, you could put 2 units of 5 strikes, roll them into the midboard. So that's definitely a consideration. But there is some points here you could flex around, like dropping one of the troops choices. Could get you another flex character, or could be more interceptors, could be some perks or purifiers, could just be a bunch of servitors. Like take 2 units of servitors to just sit your
People
backfield.
overlook the servers. Servers are actually harder to get to. Not everyone has the no gun servitors hanging
They
out
are
in their
Yeah.
bits
pain
box
to
or whatever.
find. They are very hard to
But
find.
for 40 points or whatever, you basically lock in 15 battle points. That's
Yeah, that's exactly right. What do you guys think of this one?
I really like it. I think that there's a build that I've used and I've seen that's been really effective. That is actually with the troops. It's 2 or 3x6 Terminators, and they now become your
Oh.
to the lasts.
Oh,
So then
snap.
even your Grandmaster can go in, not care. You're getting those points. You're getting Purifying Ritual. You basically have 30 points that they have to stop you from getting. It's actually pretty
Yeah.
spicy. I really like that. And when it's combined with all these interceptors and in this case Paladins, Dread Knights that are still running up the field, it works really well. Like I really like it. This is actually very, very close to that too. I like the style. The Terminators, you can use them, but you don't have to in a list like this.
Yeah.
A lot of the
Yeah.
time I find the Terminators even better for backfield if they have things that can threaten your backfield, because then all right, I bypassed all your front line. Haha. It's like, okay, now you got to deal with Terminators then that are upset.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Spot on. Like they still slap, man. They go in
Yeah.
3 or 4 attacks each, depending, and they just annihilate stuff. It's extremely good. Like
Mhm.
what's the price point on anybody know what a Grey Knight Terminator costs you?
40 points.
43 points.
40.
Yeah.
I think
something like that.
5 is exactly 200 points.
So you're paying 5 points over a regular Terminator, realistically, for being psychic, used to
Better
say
weapon.
better
Mhm.
weapon, exactly. I think it's a good price point. It's totally fine. If they dropped even like 1 or 2 points per model, they'd be real
Oh,
cranks.
that'd be not okay.
It'd be not okay. Yeah.
Not okay.
So that's it. That's the coverage for the weekend, gents. Who do you
Well,
pick out
no,
of the
no,
Alamo?
we got to pick winners.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to pick the
Uh,
winners.
13 Grey Knights. That's where I'm going. Like, that's their first big spike. I wonder if the meta is ready for that many Grey Knights in there. And yeah, I hope people have not taken their splash psychers, because they're going to want to take a boar again, and you might not be able to.
That's actually a good point too. A lot of people are, because they're not going to be taking psych or Aboard the Witch against like Thousand Suns. That's what you see more of. Great Knights you don't see, but this list you could do Aboard the Witch if you didn't have them, because a lot of MSU would be perfect. But yeah, people aren't going to be ready. I like the Grey Knight
Are
call.
you
I
going
think
with Grey Knights too?
I think I am. I think I just talked myself into it.
Well, look, I'm gonna go chaos. I'm going Chaos Knights.
Chaos
Love it.
Knights. Specific Chaos Knights. Not even we would give you just pure Knights if you just want to say Knights in general. If it's either Imperial
I
or
think
Chaos.
I
That's
think
okay.
Chaos Knights. But yeah, if I can get a wider net and just
Sure,
let me
we'll
get
give
away
you
with
a wider
saying
net. I think that's
Knights,
fair. I
then
think that's
I'll
fair.
take it. I'll take that avenue.
I don't think you need to specify one or the other in this
I
case.
was
feel
going to go
it's
into
fine.
like why I thought, but no, I'm just going to
Oh, no,
take
go
me out.
ahead. No, if you want
No,
why
I'm
you
taking
thought
me
it
out.
was Chaos, go ahead. Why do you think
Nope,
Chaos
just
is better?
Knights.
Just
Somebody with a
Knights.
knight.
Somebody
My-
with an okay. Now you're getting too general, because this
Sure.
is the one with the this is the one with the knight with the Dark Angels too. That's too far.
that-
That's too far,
so-
Paul.
I had to
Can't
look
do
at that list, because so I do search for Imperium, just generalist Imperium, and whenever I do, usually it's only like 1 or 2 lists. I always have a look. This is nothing but Terminators, Dark Angels Terminators, and then 3 freaking Armigers.
War dogs?
Armiger Helverin.
Or-
Yeah, Armigers. Yeah, essentially, War Dogs. And
That's
so I
not
was
bad.
like, I would have thought it'd be Helverins. I would have thought it'd be the autocannon ones, but they're the melee ones. So I was a bit
Oh, I
head
like
scratching
it.
at that.
Just move. Just get
I
on
like
across
it
the
as-
table
yeah,
and chew
but-
it up.
I mean, three Helverins or 3 maybe Moiraxes sitting behind 30 Terminators. You're like, 5 turns of shooting in the bag. Like, it's gonna happen.
Well, folks, now it is time for our little palate cleansing segment we call the Fuego Rapido. This is a segment where we pull up a list of topics on the screen and we give our producer actually comes in and asks these questions now, and we give ourselves 2 minutes to answer them. And once the time is up, no matter what is going on in the dialogue, we have to shut it down. The thought is over, maybe never to be visited again. But we also want to hear what y'all have to say in chat, because sometimes these trip us up. But anyway, we'll turn it over to Richard behind the scenes. Have 2 minutes for each topic. See what we got this
You're
week.
gonna have to ask him, buddy. My mic's not working.
Oh well, now I've
Never mind.
assumed I'm now
lied.
usurping responsibilities from
No,
production.
I can talk
I
now.
am now.
I'm good. I'm
Booming
good.
No,
control.
no, I've already declared.
Okay, I'm starting. Best movie with giant robots.
Macross.
I'm gonna give you all a chance to make the wrong decision, and then
It's
I'm gonna
Macross.
tell you the right. It's not.
Macross that's a good one. I have
That's pretty
way
good. That's pretty good.
I have way too many that I wanna. I don't know, man. I have to start naming a couple. And it's just not just movies either, because I'm thinking of a lot of anime. Like I love Gundam Wing. I love Gundam Wing.
No.
Endless
Well,
Waltz.
which
is pretty
one?
cool. Endless Waltz. That's the movie. That's a movie.
No.
Okay. All right.
So
No,
All right,
you're
Adam.
wrong.
I'm curious of where
Just-
you're going
just a
because
straight
obviously
no.
Transformers is always. A good
That
one
was
too.
it. That you
Oh.
had it. You had it right there. It was the original animated Transformers movie.
Transformers
I
the
figured
movie.
that's what
You
you're
got
going to
the
say.
touch.
That's why.
You
Okay.
got
You got the
power.
That hits me. Like every now and then, I'll just go and watch, some of those scenes.
Yeah.
Just because you just need to throw back. You
You
need to feel.
Yeah. You ever need a lift? That's it. That's where you go.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't. Are Transformers giant robots in that? I feel like they're not. That
There's a
big.
couple of giant robots. You know,
there's
where Devastator
yeah,
is tearing down.
Yeah, I get like
tears
all
way into the
Unicron is in there, but
Autobot
Unicron.
City. Yeah.
Dinobots, yeah. I mean,
But you're
well,
driving in
yeah.
a lot of them.
Is
Like, is my
Unicron- you
car
say-
a
you-
giant robot?
You saying Unicron is not a giant robot? What?
Unicron is a giant planet robot thing.
Yeah, there you go. Answered.
Yeah, Transformers. That's a good answer.
I mean, yeah, like, Transformers is probably the best one that you could say for it. For at least people of our generation. I'm assuming we're all of a similar generation.
We
definitely
are.
And we're not talking about these Michael Bay ones, guys. If you haven't seen the freaking cartoon, the original one, you got to go see that one.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
rent it.
Do it.
Go to Blockbuster Video and rent it.
What,
That's
we
right,
don't
I
have
said it.
those anymore.
No, it's Blockbuster Video and rent it.
All
Jumbo
right.
Video.
I've been restarting this. Your first Imperial Knight or Chaos Knight or other Titanic models that you've purchased, I guess, or played with, or painted,
Purchased or painted or
something, or did something with.
Baneblade count? Is a Baneblade Titanic model?
What was the
It
first?
was a
Yeah,
Lord
it
of
is,
War,
isn't it?
right?
So the
I got
first
6 of them.
big model I
Jesus.
had was the Eldar Tempest
Oh,
from Armorcast.
Okay.
that's
It was
cool.
it was like a solid block of resin. It was like this long, like that wide.
All right.
Had 2 giant cannons on it.
Okay.
Has that been replaced with the Scorpion now? Is that what that superseded it?
I think that has to be. Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
one of those. It's that same thing, but imagine it and looking like carved out of a block of soap.
I love that.
I mean, it
Yeah,
was
I
still
think
cool.
what-
I mean, it was cool.
If Baneblades count, then mine's a Baneblade. Yeah,
Okay.
because I got
I
6
think
of
they
the
count.
bastards.
Yeah.
They're big.
I think they count. Okay. My first Titanic model painted was a Wraith Knight.
Oh.
The first one that I owned was the Bio Titan, the Hierophant.
Oh, snap.
Did not paint that right away.
The one with
I
the
was-
big
I was-
legs on
yeah.
it.
I was
Cage
terrified to paint that because I
Yeah.
did not want to do it wrong.
That's intimidating.
The Wraith
It's-
that I had to for tournaments, so I was like, screw it. Here we go.
It's because that thing is so high up, you can see all the detail
Yeah.
underneath, so you can't half-ass it.
Yeah.
You have to full-ass it.
You have to full ass it. Exactly. There's no. Full on big booty it.
Yeah.
It's a big boutte.
That Hierophant dump truck just going past. All right.
All right. Best quote or catchphrase from Bender. From
This is
Futurama.
oddly specific.
This is very specific. I watched Futurama, but I can't remember all of Bender's quotes.
I can remember a few.
You gotta pull us through on this one, Adam.
I'll make my own lunar lander with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the lunar lander and the blackjack. that's yeah, bam.
Oh, I remember mine. I know one I liked of his. Of all my friends, you're the first.
I came here with one dream, a dream to kill all humans. That's a good one as well.
We'll move.
Well,
on.
we're boned. That's
Yeah.
a good one too. I like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
All right. So, best paint scheme for Imperial or Chaos Knights.
Ooh.
I'm sorry to say, it's probably a Renegade Knight.
But yeah, it's definitely Renegade Knight. Like, I'm sorry.
I do like it when they have those big bold chaos symbols that look like they're just like really splashed over them or whatever, like graffiti style. I like it when I can't pull that off, but I really like seeing it.
I like seeing the Chaos Knights that are like really made and converted to look like the gods they're supposed to be a part of. You know, like the Nurgle Knights being all melted, like rotten and stuff, and have some extra stuff on there. The corn ones being made more corny with skulls and giant axe in their hand instead of whatever weapon they're equipped with. I like the conversion opportunity you have with Chaos models. I feel like you can do that a lot better with Chaos Knights and get away with it. Night ones you can still do it with, but you don't have as much freedom with some like cool gods like but you're worshiping to. Do you know what I'm saying here? Like I'm not talking out of my butt. My
No, you
big
can
booty
just
that I
look.
was-
We got 2 minutes to fill.
You can
keep
just
on
keep going.
There we go. I'm filling up all the time here. I got this. What do you guys think, though? You haven't said anything, Adam.
I'm I just googled it.
Oh,
I'm
you're scrolling.
through.
You're just gonna
Yeah.
copy and paste one from Google.
This
one.
Yeah, I guess because I'm looking for the actual
Are you
house
like an actual
schemes.
house name or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. I'm looking for
Oh.
the name because I don't know enough about the Renegade Knight schemes. I know a lot of the names like Commentus and Lucaris and all those ones, but I don't know the associated schemes like I do with the Imperial houses. Like someone says Hawkshroud, and bang, I know what that looks like. Someone
Yeah,
says
that's the yellow, right?
Yeah.
it's the yellow.
Yeah.
Someone says Tyrannus, I know what that looks like. But I can't say the same for the Renegade Knights, and I feel bad about that.
They don't get enough press. They will after this weekend.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Paul's called them, so they're going to be seen a lot.
Right now I'm a fan of Lucaris, which is like a midnight blue with splashes of white, bone, and red. I think that's really quite nice. Like if you wanted to like put some lightning bolts on that and just evoke the Night Lords with that as well, I think that'd be really cool. And then you could paint some of the banners and stuff flesh-like and bring it even closer.
We're out of time.
Okay, last one. It's a weird one, and I think it's the best for last. So, what's your robot theme song and dance or dance?
What?
That's
I don't
what
know.
it says.
I don't know how to respond to that.
It's raining
Okay.
tacos.
Oh,
What?
impressive.
I mean, just got to rock it at
Real
some point.
fast,
Sometimes
What?
you just got to send.
It's a raining
Um,
tacos.
I have a very extremely specific one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Um,
if you're ready for this, then you go ahead.
Exceptionally. There is this crazy game called Guitaro Man that was an extremely obscure Japanese PlayStation 2 game where you played as this crazy little dude who turns into a magical Guitaro Man and you got to battle with monsters by playing the guitar. And there was a boss on it called Flying O, who was a flying saucer. His theme song is my song. And if anybody in the chat knows that, I'm probably going to kiss you. I don't know. Maybe we'll get married.
All right.
I mean, there are some people that have a crush on you in the chat, so it's not far off.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for that. You got to love that.
But seriously, go to YouTube and Google Guitaro Man. It's some of the stupidest, most like just taking the piss out of itself.
And while you're there, check out this raining
yeah.
tacos.
It's raining tacos as well on
All
the
right,
dual
Dustin,
screen.
you're last.
I still don't know what Raining Tacos is or what it has to do with robots. I feel like I could just pick a random song at this point and it'll be legit.
People in chat have been trying to help you.
I'm not
They
going
are.
to say like Mr. Roboto, okay?
That
That's
seems
not-
pretty on point.
It's too on point.
I've
It's-
often thought at times, Dustin, that you are reminiscent of the other guy from was it Garbage? No, not Garbage. Dude, Barbie Girl. You know, I'm a Barbie Girl. There was the chick. There was the chick that sung everything, and there was the guy next to her that just said a random line every now and then.
Let's
And I
go,
feel like
Barbie,
that's
let's go party.
exactly.
I
That
got
could
it.
be you.
There it
that
is.
could be you.
Barbie Girl. That's my robot theme song.
Hey,
There
way
it
to
is.
squeak it in. Way to slide into home plate there.
Oh,
Hey,
That's our show this week. Seriously, this has been a fun one. It's cool when these new factions do get released. It gives we see how it changes. Immediately starts changing the meta. Will they have the same impact that Tyranids did and the Drakari before them and Harlequins? Who's to say? I'm not actually sure, but we will be back next week. What we talk about, we'll know when we see the shifts in next week's faction podiums. Seriously, it's been a pleasure. Thanks to everyone who's made this absolutely active in chat. We've had some great comments and people participating with the show. If you are listening to us after the fact on podcast aggregators, please give us a thumbs up, a like, a share, subscribe, a 5-star review. That's one way that other people, can help find us, or you can help other people find us. I think it's probably what I was trying to say there. And it really means a lot to us when you do that. Don't forget to check out our sponsor. Get your LVO tickets next month. Adam, Dustin. We'll see y'all next week.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen.
Check out the coverage this weekend too.
You are in fact a Barbie Girl.